Hey lady, your son ran over me in his car and seriously injured me. I want you to pay me $100,000 for medical bills and emotional damages.
Wait, hold on, I'm really confused right now. Who are you exactly?
This is Joshua Miller. I'm the victim here.
Are you sure that you have the right person? I really don't think that my little boy would ever do something like that.
Well, unfortunately for you, he isn't the perfect little angel you think he is. And I have insurance, so don't think you can escape. You'll have to pay for the damages and my hospital bill.
I'm very sorry, but I don't know who you are, and to suddenly be demanding money from me like this is very suspicious.
Mom, I understand that you want to protect your son from the consequences of his own actions, but he did something bad. He committed a crime. Don't you think a better parent would see to it that he took responsibility for what he did?
Well, but, still, this is also sudden.
He broke every single bone in my body. The doctors told me that it would take at least 6 months to recover from all of this, and that until then I'm going to have a very painful, difficult life. I'm in physical rehab right now.
Wow, well, this really does sound like quite the disaster now, doesn't it? I'm so sorry you're going through this.
Don't you shed any crocodile tears on my account. What I need from you is something much more substantial. Don't you realize that your son caused me serious damage here?
Look, Joshua, even if you did have a very serious accident, I don't think my boy was responsible, and I still would like to know how you got this number. Something just isn't right here.
I got your number because I'm one of the world's top hackers. That's how.
Excuse me?
That's right. A few days ago you went to the mall nearby and used the free Wi-Fi there, didn't you?
Wow, I have to say I'm a bit freaked out. Yes, I think that's right actually.
Well, you had to input your phone number to gain access to that network. So following that, I was able to find your address and your name as well. I know everything.
Can you really get all of that just from some free Wi-Fi?
I have a special hacking tool that helps track other information that's been tied to that phone number. It's actually really quite simple.
Oh, so then you're not really a hacker. You just used a tool to do the work for you.
Call it what you want, but using this tool I can gain access to any information that I want from you with just a few keyboard strokes. I can even hack into your social media using the info I have now.
Wow, well, you sure can do an awful lot, it seems. Or at least so you say. But isn't what you're doing a crime too?
Don't you try and change the subject on me now. You can't deny the fact that what your son did was far worse than what I've done. Now hurry up and pay me.
Okay, this just feels like a scam to me. I'm gonna call the police and report you.
Are you really sure that you want to do that?
Of course I am. Why wouldn't I be?
Because I have all of your personal information, remember. Do you really think that I'm just gonna let you escape with a mere threat like that?
What are you talking about? Why are you threatening me like this?
If you don't pay me 100 grand, then I'll follow through on those threats.
But I just don't believe any of this. I mean, do you even have any proof that what you're saying is the truth right now?
Well, there weren't any security cameras or people around, so there's no one to say it did or didn't happen.
But if you don't even have any proof that what you're saying actually happened, then how can you know that it was my son who did it?
Do you really want to mess with me, lady? If you try and escape this, I will make sure that your son's face ends up in newspapers all over the country. He'll never escape this. Then your family will really be famous.
Wow, would you really do all of that?
But none of this is going to happen to you if you just pay me. Once you do, I promise to leave you alone. You can go back to living your normal life like nothing ever happened. Don't waste this chance I'm giving you.
But it wasn't my son, I'm telling you. I think that we should just have our lawyers discuss this. I'm sure that I can prove to you that my son is innocent.
You have a lot of nerve saying that to me when I'm the victim here. You should just do as I say. If you don't, I'll see that your whole family is destroyed.
You wouldn't really do that, would you?
You have 1 week to send the money to my bank account, or else everything I've said here is going to come true.
My name is Sharon, and I'm a 35-year-old housewife. One day I got a message from someone calling himself Joshua Miller. The content of it was very confusing and made my head spin. There was no way that I could believe that my little boy would have committed a hit and run. But Joshua was so insistent, it was clear that I'd have to do something to clear his name. Joshua didn't even have any proof that what he was saying had really happened. And the fact that he opened by demanding that I pay him $100,000 was even more suspicious. A few days passed, and I was still unable to figure out who this person messaging me truly was. That was until I received an especially shocking message from him.
2 weeks later.
Well, it's been a whole week, and you still haven't given me my money. Do you really need me to tell you what happens next?
But you can't do this. You don't even have any proof that it was my son who did it. Why should I have to pay you that much money?
Can you really live with yourself knowing that your son did this to someone and wasn't punished?
And you're really sure that everything you've told me happened? You're not mixing up any details at all. I just need to know so I don't have any doubts.
How dare you even ask me that? Your son smashed his car into me, and you think I'd forget that? Besides, I remember just what kind of car he was driving that day.
Out of curiosity, can you tell me about it?
He was driving a sedan with black and white markings on it and something red on top, right?
Well, I do have a car kind of similar to that. It's true.
Well, there you go. See, it was your car. And just how many others do you think are out there that look like that? That proves that it was your son who hit me.
But, still, I don't think that's enough to prove anything.
It's too late to try and run away now. You just have to face the facts. The image of that car driving away as I lay on the ground is burned into my brain.
But I just want to make sure that you really do have everything right.
How dare you talk to me like that? Of course, I know that I have the right car. Who do you think you are questioning me like this?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm really not trying to upset you.
Well, I've already started to show you some of my revenge. You've been getting prank calls and notices stuck to your door lately, haven't you?
I have actually, yes, but how do you know all of that?
Because I'm the one who's been doing all of it, of course. Duh. I've been calling your cell nonstop all day. And I've been going up to your door and leaving all those leaflets as well. You must have your hands full getting rid of all of them, right?
You do realize that all of those things are crimes though, don't you?
Oh no, my hand has started hurting. I don't think I can type anymore. This new hand injury is all your fault too. Now you have to pay me another $10,000.
If your hand hurts that much, then maybe you should just stop texting and leave me alone.
But this all goes back to your son. It's all his fault. I'll make sure he pays for what he's done to me.
Who even are you? Do you really think this is going to work?
You better watch your mouth, lady. As I see it, you already owe me $110,000 now. You have 1 more week to send me the money, and you better do it too, or else.
But I don't even have that kind of money. I can't pay you that.
Then I guess you'll just have to go to the bank and take out a big loan then, won't you?
Are you really telling me to borrow money just to pay you off?
Well, that's one way at least. But we can get creative. Why don't you pay me with your insurance money?
And just what is that supposed to mean, huh?
Well, if your house would have happened to burn down, you could pay me with the insurance money. Of course, you'll lose everything that you have, but at least you'll still have your family, right?
This isn't funny. How can you be joking? It's something like this?
As if you could even do anything to harm me. I'm being generous right now. You really won't want to see me when I really get mad.
I would like to see you try anything. Come near my house again and see what happens.
I am warning you now, got it? You have 1 week until you and your family are crushed under my hacking prowess. I'll be sure to prove that I mean what I say too.
Several days later.
That's it. You've used up all of my patience. I gave you chance after chance, but no more. I'm going to burn down your house tomorrow and you are going to give me the insurance money.
Are you serious about that? Are you really gonna burn my house down?
Well, if you aren't going to pay me, then it doesn't seem like there's any other way. You better watch where you go at night. I'm always watching you.
Do you get some kind of sick thrill out of trying to scare people or something?
I've had just about enough out of you. It was your son who ran into me with his car. You're his mother and you need to do something about this.
Oh right, you keep saying all that, but there has been one thing I keep forgetting to tell you.
And just what is that?
My son is only 3 years old. So are you telling me that he hit you with one of his Hot Wheels?
Wait, what do you mean by that?
I mean that if you had all your bones broken by a child and his little toy car, then I have no idea where you get off acting all tough now. Maybe you should just watch where you're going.
No. This can't be right. Don't you have another older son? Don't lie to me.
I only have one child and he is 3 years old.
Well, so then who was the person in the sedan that hit me? Was it your husband? It must have been him if it wasn't your kid.
No, it wasn't him. That car was definitely my son's sedan.
You mean that your son has a car and he's only 3 years old? Do you really think that I'm stupid enough to believe something like that?
I think you really need to think back on the kind of car that you described to me before.
I told you that it was a sedan with black and white marks with something red on top. I know what I saw.
And don't you think that that kind of car sounds really familiar?
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
You're describing a police car. My little boy has a bunch of them in his toy box. He loves the police cars.
No. This can't be right. I don't believe it.
And there is another thing I have some questions about. Just why did you try and set up my son as this criminal anyways?
Well, I heard about that car being yours.
The toy police car? What are you talking about? Who did you hear that from?
You and your husband were at the mall talking about buying a car for your son. I happened to overhear some details about the car and I thought I could use that for a scam.
And that is when you decided to use your little hacking tool to look up my number while I was connected to the mall's Wi-Fi. Was that your whole plan?
Well, in a nutshell, yes.
Well, in a nutshell, yes. Well, it seems to me that you have made a big mistake here, haven't you? You heard us talking about the toy police car we got my son for his birthday.
No. I don't believe this. There's no way I made a mistake like that. That means that this whole plan was just for nothing.
And then you tried to blackmail us based on your mistake. But the only one here who was actually committing any crimes is you.
What did I do? I haven't done anything to you.
You already admitted to making prank phone calls and leaving behind leaflets, all to cause emotional stress to me and my family, not to mention hacking our personal information, threatening to burn down our house and trying to extort money from us. So, how do you intend to take responsibility for this, Joshua Miller?
You can't prove anything. I gave you a fake name. How can you go after a person who you don't even really know?
Oh, but I do know your name and I know where you live too.
Wait, what do you mean? How?
I know your name is Frank Miller and that you live at 412 Blueberry Lane. In fact, we live in the same neighborhood.
I don't understand. How do you know all this? Did you hack me?
Of course not. I have no idea how to do that, nor would I even want to. But you told me that it was you who was leaving all those leaflets, right?
No. I was lying. It was just a joke, that wasn't me. It was someone else. I swear that I didn't do anything.
Well, I was watching you through the camera that we have set up on our front door and I saw you. There is no escaping this now.
I didn't know that you had a camera.
I know that normally you're just a little shut and who won't even leave your own house. That's probably why you don't know that my son is only 3.
I don't believe this. This can happen. I had it all planned out so perfectly. My master plan is falling apart around me. It isn't fair. I worked so hard to try and get your money.
I also know that this isn't the first scam that you've tried to pull on people.
I have no idea what you're talking about. You won't talk. You won't make me confess to anything. You can't make anything stick, I know that for a fact. You have nothing on me. Nothing.
I don't really care whether you own up to it or not really, but you do realize that several scams means a far more serious crime than just one, don't you?
Well, the cops wouldn't even know how to stop me if they tried, and they certainly won't believe you if it's just my word against yours.
Except that my husband is a police officer working in the cybercrimes unit. Something tells me that he'll listen to what I have to say.
Okay, wait, please. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do any of this. Just please don't tell the police. This is all a mistake.
Wow, you really just gave up just like that, then?
And it's true this isn't my first scam, so please. You can't tell the cops about this. Please don't tell them about me.
I told you that my husband is in cyber crimes. I think that you know that I can't just sit back and let one of these cyber criminals like you commit their crimes without saying anything. You'll have to pay for what you've done.
No, please. Look, just give me 10 grand, and let's call it even. It's all your fault that I've had to wait this long for the money anyway.
No. You committed a crime and you will have to suffer the consequences for it. I'm also going to be suing you for what you tried to do. You are going to be the one paying me.
But it's like you said. I'm just a shut-in. I don't even have any money. How am I supposed to pay you for something like this when I barely even have enough money for myself?
Well, you should have thought of that before you embarked on your would-be life of crime.
Please don't do this to me. I didn't realize what it was doing. I'll go to your house and beg for forgiveness on my knees if you'll just let me go.
Well, I suppose it's high time you leave the house and learn to make some money from your own hard work.
This is ridiculous. You can't do this to me. Please, I am begging you. I can't go to a real job. I hate people and working. They are literally my 2 least favorite things. How am I supposed to survive doing that? This is ridiculous. You can't do this to me. Please, I am begging you. I can't go to a real job. I hate people and working. They are literally my 2 least favorite things. How am I supposed to survive doing that?
You have to pay for all the harm that you've caused to my family and others before this.
Please, anything but the cops. I can't go to jail. I'm too soft. I'll never make it out alive. They'll eat me up. I'm just a kid.
You're 36, Frank. I have no intention of ever trying to help you. Was there even a real car crash that you got into?
Well, one time I was on my bike and I wasn't looking and ran into a telephone pole. I broke my right ankle when that happened.
I knew it. It was all a lie. Well, at least you did actually break one bone.
You can't do this to me. You have to forgive me. It'll never happen again. I'll never scam anyone again as long as I live, I promise you that.
I should think not. After all, you're gonna be arrested for making threats, extortion, fraud, and attempted fraud. I only hope that you learn your lesson from this.
I've already learned my lesson. I promise I'll never do anything like this again. And I never threatened you.
You told me that you were going to burn my house down, remember?
But I was just talking big. Of course, I never actually meant to do any of that. It was a joke. I was never going to do any of the things that I said. The scam was itself just a scam. It was a prank, I swear. Please don't do this to me.
It's too late to try and make any kind of excuses for yourself now. Anyways, good luck in prison, you criminal. See ya.
No, wait. Please. I still have more to say. You can't do this to me. Please don't go to the cops. You have to show me mercy. You're a mom. You wouldn't do this to me if I was your own son, right? Please, I'm begging you not to do this. I can't go to prison. I'll never make it out of there alive.
After that, our Frank tried to flee from the police but didn't get very far before being arrested. He was charged with all of his various crimes, and the trial did not last very long. After he was released from his sentence, he had to find a low-paying job in order to pay off all his fines and compensation to his victims. My family included. I'm sure that he learned never to try and steal from others. Since then, my family has returned to our quiet, peaceful lives, and my son is really enjoying the toy police car that we bought him. Although we've learned a lesson about the darker side of internet use and how people can use the information you put out into the internet to try and trick you. Stay safe out there, everyone.